So this is our very last assignment, and what we're doing is we're going to create some type of a coloring page for young kids. So um, lots of ways you can go about doing this. If you completely want to design your own thing, go for it. You might have some great ideas. I don't know what you're into, if you like, dinosaurs or dragons or anything that you think a kindergartner or a first grader would think is kind of fun, then go with that. It could be something where they're learning something, you can be teaching them something. Um, but there is one tool that I want to make sure you have a bit of an understanding of, because this is a tool that you might really want to use for this particular project. So I'm going to open up the swan that I did. Now, when I say the swan that I did, technically, this is a swan that I traced, okay? There's some pieces to this that I did myself, but for the most part, I basically traced it. So you might be interested in doing something like that. So right now, this is what I've done, and the actual, if we flip, you can see this was the actual drawing that I found on the internet. I liked it. Has the cute little baby, the baby swans there. And actually, I haven't done the baby swans yet, and I will do those. Um, and maybe I'll do them right now. So I'm going to teach you how to trace using the pen tool. Okay, so if I'm going to trace this, I'm going to need a layer to do that. So I'm going to add a layer to this. I've hidden the layer that I've already done and the lettering and all of that. So I'll hide that. I don't want to see that right now, but I do want this layer, and I'm going to put in this baby swans. Okay, so this is where I'll draw the baby swans. My workspace is all reset. Double click that. So I'm going to be using the pen tool a lot. So again, that's the P. And you've had a lot of experience using the P already. You used the pen tool when we did that entire color scheme design. So this is just a little bit different. So I'm going to, first of all, enlarge this so that I'm getting in close to those little baby swans. Okay, so with the pen tool, I'll hit the P. There's my pen tool. Now, typically, if I were to just put a dot here and put a dot here, it would just be a straight line. And we were using a lot of straight lines when we were creating that design we did. Remember, we were doing something like that. Well, now what we want to do with that same tool is we want to draw lines that are actually curved and rounded and are going to create the illusion of this baby swan, or in your case, whatever you decide to do. And whatever I demonstrate for you tomorrow in class, it'll be something different. I'll find some cute little character or something to show you. So I want to go ahead and start tracing. Now here's how things are going to be a little different. You'll start wherever you want. You'll hold down the key, okay? And then as you get to where you want the next point to be, and if you recall when we did Batman, when we did the Batman symbol, we did something like this. Right now I haven't clicked yet. I'm going to click the mouse, but I'm not going to let go. If I let go of the mouse, I won't be able to do what I'm doing right now. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling on these handles. And when I pull on these handles, it begins to curve the line. And when the line is curved in exactly the right way, that's when I let go, okay? And then I click on the anchor. Now right now, my line is black, and I can't see it very well. So I'm going to make it red or pink or anything that's going to be easier to see. The other thing I want to do is get rid of the fill, because the fill will sort of hide things. All right, so back to the P. Okay, now just like with the other with the other project that we did, we were able to hit the V when we wanted to sort of move away from something. So I can hit the V at any point. So now I've put an anchor here. I'm going to put another anchor right here. When I click down, I don't let go. I start pulling the handle until it curves just the way I need his head to curve, and then I let go. And then I have to click that anchor, because if I don't click that anchor, the line will start curving on me, and I don't want it to. So I click the anchor, and then I'm able to make a straight line. I've clicked this, and I just let it go because this is a straight line. Here, this is not going to be a straight line. So I move the pen here, and I just pull the handles a little bit, and you see it's starting to curve. I let go, and then I click on the anchor to lock it in. Here I can click, and I don't need it to curve or anything, so I didn't have to do anything special there. Here I'm going to click, but I really do want it to curve just a little bit. It's not quite as curved in the picture, but I want it to be. So again, I click, and then I click the anchor. Now I'm going to come up here, and that's just a straight line. Now when I come here, I'm just going to go like here somewhere. I'm not letting go of the mouse, and I'm dragging on the handle because it's really important that this looks rounded. Again, I click on the anchor, and that kind of locks it in. If I go down to this point now, again, I click the mouse, but I don't let go. I start pulling that handle, and the way you pull the handle, it changes depending on what you need it to do. So, kind of play with those handles, and you'll start to get a really good sense of using them once you use them for a while. Now here I want to do the beak, okay? So I'm just kind of like when we did that Batman symbol, I'm just going to come down here, I'm going to click, I'm not going to let go. I'm going to start pulling on this handle until I feel like I've recreated the shape of that beak. When I have, I'll let go, and then I'll click the anchor. Okay, clicking the anchor allows me to move on to my next line, and it sort of locks in the old line. I'll show you what happens if I don't do that next time. So if I come here, and the reason I'm coming here is because this is all going to curve. So I'll come here, I'll hold, and once again, I'll just play with this handle until that line is doing exactly what I want. I let go, I click the anchor. And if I want to stop at this point, I'll hit the V. Just like you did before, you hit the V anytime you wanted to kind of end a line when you were doing your geometric abstract. Well, you're kind of doing the same thing with this. And the other difference is here, because this is a coloring page, I'm not concerned about having individual shapes. Like before, we had to go to Pathfinder and hit divide, and we had to do all this to make sure each piece that we were making was a separate shape. Well, these don't have to be shapes because this is a coloring page. So I just need the lines. All right, so I'm going to hit the P again, and maybe I'll start here this time, and I'll put my first anchor, and then maybe I'll go here. I'm not going to let go. I'm going to start pulling on this handle until that line, that little green line there, looks like it lines up. It does. I'm going to click on the anchor. Okay. Here, I'll come down to this point. Again, I'll hold it. I'll lift on that handle just a little bit. And then I'm going to click the V because I think that line is good enough. The only thing I need to do is the eye and the bottom of the beak there. So again, I click the P, I start there, and now this is where it could get a little tricky because I've already got a line so close to it. So I kind of let it touch the anchor of that other one, and I'm going to see if I can make this kind of work out. And just look at that blue line really closely. Is it doing what you need it to do? I'm going to let go. If you ever want to just see what your drawing looks like, go to your layer, get rid of it. Now you can see that's what my little bird looks like right now. So I'll go back. I'll do the eye. There's a little piece right there in his nose. I'll get that. So we'll put a line, a point there. And this could probably be a straight line, but I don't know, maybe we want it to curve a little bit just so that it looks more realistic. I'm going to hit the V for that tiny little line there. I'm going to hit the P. I'm going to start here, and then I'm actually just going to go straight across to the other side. Don't let go of that mouse. The minute you let go of the mouse, you're kind of locking in the line. So the idea is that you get this handle exactly the way you want it, then you click the anchor, okay? If you want this line to continue, you certainly can. You just have to be sure that you're making a kind of a complete shape. Now for the inside of the eye there, I could probably get away with just a circle. So I'm going to make a tiny little circle here, and I'm going to just pop that circle in there, and that'll give kind of the roundness to the eye. Move it over slightly. And it looks like there might be like a tiny little dot in there. So if I take my pen tool, I could probably put a tiny dot there, hit the V, and there should be a tiny dot there. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so the dot didn't really show up. Let me try that one more time. I'm going to hit the P. Now, it wants to create a line, doesn't want to create a dot. So since I want a little dot, what I think I'll do is I'll go about it in a different fashion. I will take that little circle, I'll make a copy of it. There's the copy of it. It's going to need to be very tiny, so I'm going to hold my shift key, whoops, holding the wrong key, and make it as tiny as I can make it. And instead of it having a line, it's going to have a fill. And let's see how that looks. That might still be a little too big, so I'll hold my shift key and see if I can't make it a little tinier. Okay, it's pretty tiny. And so now I'll just kind of stick that right inside there. And it's a little high. I'm going to click on it, lower it slightly. Oh, now it's too low. Let's see. And now it's right in the middle. I'm not sure I like it right in the middle. That'll do. Okay, so do I need anything else for this little chick? I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't think I do. All right, so I'm gonna click that off again. I'm gonna go down to the other baby swan, and I'm gonna go around him. And again, I'll start with the P. You can start wherever you want. If I start here, I might go to this line and kind of create that curve there. And then I'll click the V. And right now I've got the fill selected because I was doing that eye before. So I'm going to get rid of the fill, and I'm going to put that color into the line. So I'm back to just using a line and not a fill. I'm going to use the P again. Start right there. And I'll probably go to about here. Again, you hold that mouse, you do not let go, because as soon as you let go, your line is locked. Okay, so whatever you've done, the line is locked. So that's pretty good. I'm going to let go, and then I have to click on the anchor to make sure it's kind of locked in place. And I told you I was going to show you what happens when you don't let go. So I'm going to not let go on the next one. So here I'm kind of rounding the head a little bit. Now let's say I don't click the anchor right now and I tried to come down here. It's actually working out pretty well right now. Yeah, it's working pretty well. I think where the problem is if you really want like a straight line. No. Well, you test it for yourself. I like kind of clicking on the anchor when I'm done, then I know that it's kind of locking into what I want. And since this is almost like a complete shape here, I'm going to click the V, and then I'm going to click the P again. I'll put a line here, and this line is going to curve slightly, and then I'll hit my V because it's just a single line. I'll start here at this anchor to get the bottom of the beak. I do want it to be somewhat rounded. I don't want it to be like a perfectly straight line. So like here, if I tried, you can see if I try to go over here, I could, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't need to hit the anchor point because it's working out pretty well when I don't hit the anchor point. So you try it both ways, okay? You see what works for you. I've just had, like, I don't like that right there. I don't like. So I've had it turn on me before, and I don't like when whoops, that's not what we want to do. I've had the line turn on me, and we don't want it to turn on us. That's why I feel like you're always kind of safe when you click the anchor. Okay, and since the line ends, I'm just going to hit the V. And then I'll start over here. I'll hit the P. I'll come here. I'll go here, and again, I'm just going to turn that handle so that I get a curved line. Again, I'm going to hit the anchor. I'm going to come down here, and now I'm going to kind of twist the handle a little bit like this, and now you can see what's happening. Here, kind of just turn it a little bit. If I decide to say come down to this point, now I think my water has this line already in place. Let me see if it does. And I'm going to hide the picture. And so it doesn't. So I did not draw that line in my original picture. So I'm going to definitely add it now so that this little chick looks like he's, you know, has water in front of him. So I'll start here. I'll click, and this is a nice long line. I can come to the very end. Don't let go. Start pulling those handles until you think the line is doing what you need it to do. And you can see I'm really having to pull it on this one because it's a long line, and the way I want it to curve, I just have to I have to just drag that handle farther out. you really start to get the hang of the handle the more you use it. So I know that at first you guys are going to, maybe be a little weirded out by the handle, but just it'll get easier, I promise you. Okay, so I added that one little line there. Now I'll pick up here, and it seems like there's like a little piece of, now here's what I'm talking about. If I don't hit the anchor, see how it starts to curve there? I don't want it to curve there. So that's why I click the anchor, so that I can just make a straight line there. Okay? And then the next thing I'll do is I'll come over here. I'll start to pull up on that. And then here I really need to hit that anchor, because again I'm going back to a straight line. And then I might go all the way down here. Don't let go. Just start pulling that handle until the curve follows what you're tracing. Let go. Go back to the anchor. If you like the little, like I really want to get these little indentions in there. So that's why I keep clicking that anchor, so I can kind of go back in here. Even though this is pretty straight, I know that this is a little bird, and so I don't want these lines to look straight. I really want them to have just enough of a curve to them that they're going to seem more realistic. At any point, if you feel like you just want to stop the line because you're just nervous about what's going on, stop the line. Just hit your V. Okay, that's your selection tool. Hit your V, begin again. This in some ways could be easier than the geometric abstract we did, because with the geometric abstract you were you really had to, everything had to touch an anchor point. And with this, we can just go with lines. This is, a coloring page, unless you're creating a coloring page where you want it to have certain shapes so that the kids have to put a certain color in every piece. Then you'll have to think in terms of shapes, but that's not really that big of a deal either. So as soon as I finish this little bird, I'm going to kind of call it quits on this, and then I'll maybe show you guys some more things in class. But and that's just sort of a single line. Oops, I lost the line. I'll have to do it again. Not sure what happened here. There is a line there, but it's black. That's why I'm not seeing it. I don't know why it just all of a sudden decided it wanted to be black, but I'm making it red, and the only reason I'm making it red is so I can see it. Otherwise, I won't see it. When your lines are straight, it's like when we were working with the geometric abstract, and there it went red again. I'm not sure why. Okay. Yeah, it just keeps going black on me. So again, like if it's just a single line, it's your choice. Either hit the V or hit the anchor. There's not really much of a point of hitting the anchor unless you're going to continue the line. But if you're stopping the line, just, you know, hit the V, get out of it. And here I'm going to go like this. Click the anchor. Here I'm going to do this. And now if you watch, I'm turning, and you see I'm turning it just a little bit, and then I click the anchor, and then I come up again, and here I'm going to stop, so I'm going to hit the V. Okay, we're almost done. I only have a couple more things to do, and you'll see how this is all going to finish out. I hit the P. I got this line to do here. I want it to be nice and curved. Gonna hit the V. Couple more lines to go. Line here. Line here. This one can actually be straight. This one can probably be straight. This one is gonna curve like that. And then I'll just hit the V. And a couple more. Hit the P. Here and here, I need it to be curved. And I'll curve that a little bit. Now we just have that little eye to do. So I'll kind of zoom in a little bit to get closer. Hit my P. Point there, don't let go, drag your handle. When it's nice and curved, let go, hit your V. I'm going to make a circle again, since that is probably the best way to get this shape in here. And if you want it to be a perfect circle, hold your shift key. You might not want it to be a perfect circle. It depends on what you're drawing. I mean, what you're drawing is not going to be the same as what I'm drawing. So that little dot that I made for the center of the eye up here, I don't want to have to do that again. So I'm just going to grab it, copy it, and then I'm going to go down to this little chick and drag that little dot into his eye. Zooming out. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the picture. Okay, so the original picture that I was tracing is now gone. Now here's what I need to do. This little guy, right now, he's not in front of his mama. So I'm going to give him a white fill. So now he looks like he's in front of mama. Okay, don't worry. If you want to change the black at this time too, you can. You can, you know, go to your color, change that to black. We're also going to change some of these lines. So I think what I might do is just take all of this right now, which it's nice that it's all in one layer. If I go to properties, I can hit group, and with that being grouped, I can now make sure that he's all black. All right, and the other thing, you'll see what I'm going to do next. Let's just make sure I'm on the right layer. So I'm on the baby swans layer. I'm going to grab my little baby swan here. Okay, and seems like something else is getting picked up there. I'm not quite sure what, but Oh, it's on artwork. It's switched. Okay. Make sure you're on the right layer. Here's what I probably need to do. Oh, I see what's happening. I need to lock my artwork and unlock my baby swans. I'm not quite sure how my baby swans became locked and my artwork became unlocked, but it's the opposite. I need my baby swans to be unlocked. So I'm going to click black, and it didn't all turn black, so that's kind of strange. It should have, because I have this whole thing grouped. So let me just group it one more time, and group. Strange. Okay. Okay, so for some reason, some of these items, I wonder if if these switched somehow while I was working. Like, yeah, it did. So somehow it switched while I was working. The layers switched, and these layers, which should be part of the baby swan, became part of the artwork. So now I'm just going to have to go into artwork and do that. And what else do I need to do? This, I hope this baby swan we'll see. I need this guy to be white, so let's see what happens. Huh. Is he in the swans, or is he? Yeah, he's interesting. Let me say something here. That is very bizarre. Very bizarre. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Nope. I'm not sure what I did. I did something. Crazy. Somehow these layers kind of switched and kind of got into each other. But one thing is for certain, and that is this little guy needs to be white. Not all that. Keeps, maybe it's grouped. Let's see. I'll hit ungroup. There we go. I should be able to just, let me see what I'm losing there. All right. So if we do that, and we do that, interesting. Well, there's always a way around things, and I wish I could tell you what I did wrong here, because I'm not sure what I did wrong, but I'm gonna fix it. And here's how I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna go to my paintbrush tool, and I'm going to use just some white. Whoops. And I'm gonna paint right over that. There's a way to fix everything. And so now the water is disappearing, and he is sitting in front as he should be. And that's really all I was concerned about. I didn't want those little baby swans to look like they had water going through them. I wanted them to look like they were kind of in the foreground. All right, so here's one last thing that I did to this. Do I like it? I'm not even sure. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. But I have two different layers here, so I have to take it layer by layer. So if I decide that I'm going to work with the artwork, and I don't need my original layer anymore. The original layer was just for tracing purposes. So if I take my original artwork, I sort of was manipulating the lines. So if I grab this whole thing, you'll see what I did with my lines. And I don't even know if I like it. We'll see. But I went to the stroke and I kind of changed it. A uniform stroke would look just like a uniform line, you see. And that is actually probably more childlike looking. And so maybe I should just stick with a 1 point, line, nothing fancy. If I go back to the layers, now I have to go to the baby swans, and I have to again kind of grab everything, and I need to again go to my properties, again go to my stroke, and go back to uniform. So now that I do that, it just looks like a regular little cartoon page that a kid can color if they want to. Again, like I said, I was sort of experimenting with the stroke before, and you guys know that you can experiment with the strokes. Sometimes we like the way things look when we change the strokes. So if I were to unlock, say, the word beautiful swan here, and went to my properties and went to stroke, I could try some of these different things. In fact, what could be actually kind of cool is if I did a dashed line for those letters instead of a regular line. So now I've got these little dash lines, and actually that's kind of cute. And I might just keep that, and maybe I want beautiful swan to be a little bigger. Now I have to tell you what I did with these letters, because there is one thing that you can do to make your letters, to have more control over your letters. Let's just say that I wanted to write here, let's see, beautiful swan and her babies, 3. Let's just say I just want to do the number 3 because there's 3 of them, and this is educational, and so I want to say that there's 3. So maybe I'll do a 72 point, which means I'm going to have to expand this a little bit. And where could I put this number 3? This is, maybe because I want to teach kids to count. So there's 3 swans. So there's my number 3. Pick out my letter, and there's so many cool letters, so don't be afraid to try out some letters. That's a nice sort of, I don't know, educational looking 3. It's a little bit thin, so let's see, is there a bold option to this? Yes, there's lots of options. If I look, there's all kinds of options down here. That's a pretty bold looking 3. So I could do that. If that was not bold enough, I could literally add a stroke to it. And by adding a black stroke to that, I've just made it thicker. And if I sat here and enlarged that stroke, that 3 could get as thick as I wanted it to be. But to be honest with you, I think it's kind of thick enough. So maybe I'll just keep a small stroke on it like that. 0.25. Okay, it's going to get bigger, and it's actually going to do something different. So right now this 3 is the way I want it to be. I'm going to now go up to my type and I'm going to click, where are you? I want to outline it. Oh, there we are. Create outlines. So I am clicking create outlines. So what I've just done now is I've changed this to something that I can manipulate. It's now like a vector image that I can make it taller, I can make it thinner, I can do whatever I want. And here's the other thing that I can do. If I fill it, say, with white, and I want to put a black outline, or actually, that would be white as well. Nope, I can okay, so there's a black stroke around it right now. It's very light though. I think, yeah, it's like 0.25. That's why we don't see it very well. So I'm going to make it a little bigger. I'm also going to dash that kind of the way that was dashed. And since I do want the number to sort of be in front of those little leaves there, I'll make it white so that now that number 3 kind of is in front of the leaves. So, and I'm not quite sure if I want to turn these into little dots as well. Why not? So I'll go ahead and turn those into little dots, kind of like the mommy. This, maybe I won't do dots. Maybe I will, let's see if there's any interesting strokes that I want to use. Maybe. I like to experiment, but I'll probably just go with uniform. And if you want to add an effect to it, like maybe a drop shadow, you could certainly add a drop shadow to it. That's a bit of a heavy drop shadow, so I would certainly kind of bring that in a little bit, and start playing with those numbers. Keep them tiny, you know, so that you don't get, that's pretty big. What if we did 0125 instead? And then make sure when you hit preview will show you what you have going on. Ooh, yeah, I'm not big on the blur. It seems a little, yeah. Sometimes you have to keep hitting preview because it doesn't kind of refresh. So again, I'm not sure that feels so big. Okay, but it does need something. So maybe we'll just say 0.1. Again, I'm going to click preview. And I don't know that I like the black. Maybe just a nice gray would be okay. And again, hit the preview. That's okay. All right. So now your drawing page can be done. That sun, I know that I tried to show you guys how to do that the other day, and I know it wasn't working on remote PC, and I can't, you know, I'm kind of disappointed about that myself. I've looked, I've, you know, done as much troubleshooting as I can to figure out why it's not working on our computers on remote PC. It is working for 1 or 2 of you, and I think it's because you guys are not using school computers, but it's still not making complete sense to me. But if you want me to help you with it, just ask me, and we'll figure it out one way or another, even if we can't do it the easy way, like I showed you the other day. Okay, so good luck. Do something really cute for the kids and something that they'll like, and have fun. All right, bye guys.